Hi, everybody. Hello from French Polynesia.
Or
It's
is
Amy and Jeff again.
It is, or as they say here, Ia Orana.
Ia Orana. Yes.
Bonjour, hello.
Yes, absolutely. So we're here again, and we haven't talked to you in a few days. So we had our last few days in Tahiti.
Yes.
We skied up. And we did. We jumped out of bed, we got in the car, and we drove a few hours down to Teahupu. Yes, what's in Teahupu?
Well, it is the site for the surfing competition for the Summer Olympics in Paris. As part of the boat tour, we were driven out to the area where the competition will actually be held, and it's a strange area between two reefs. So the water is kind of focused down this almost like a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
The waves that we saw were not humongous, but they were pretty and they were curling nicely.
Yeah.
We didn't see any surfers out there that morning.
No. But this is not surfing season.
That's correct.
Because we're off season. In July, when the Olympics are happening, it's going to be wintertime, and that's when the biggest waves appear. So the Paris Olympics are going to be in Paris and French Polynesia. I think that's incredibly cool.
Yep. And we'll see if we can recognize anything.
Exactly. So we'll be watching. You'll need to watch too and kind of compare how the waves look between when we were here now and, in February and how they look in July.
Yeah, because the waves kind of look the same. But
well,
they
they'll
should
be
bigger. That's what we're hoping.
Exactly.
That's what we're hoping.
So we watched the waves for a fair amount. We had a little boat tour. So he explained about the viewing tower, how they put it up in the water for the judging of the surfing
and filming. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that'd be really cool to see that. We saw right where it was. We might recognize the buildings behind it. Maybe.
But it should be interesting to watch this summer.
I agree. So after we were done looking at the waves, because you can only look at them so long, he took us around in the water in his boat, and we saw some porpoises.
Indeed, we did. Two pods. One was a little bit further off and somewhat standoffish. It was 5 or 6 porpoises. Mm-hmm. But then there were 3 that were very playful, and they would come swimming up beside the boat, dive under the boat, and sometimes they'd all go the same way, or they would crisscross, come up in front of the bow, and jump out of the water in front of us. And
it was kind of hard to watch. It was hard to follow them because they were swimming so fast.
Yes.
But that was one of the highlights of the whole tour, I think, was lucking into seeing these porpoises. Then he took us over to a nice calm place where the water was crystal clear, beautiful Tiffany box blue, and we all jumped out and swam around. So
there was snorkeling, floating, and everything else.
Absolutely. I didn't have my snorkel yet, and I forgot to bring my mask, so I was ill prepared. But we did float around a fair amount. I floated well. Jeff doesn't float so well.
I think my body's as dense as my head. Nothing gets through.
That was very enjoyable.
Oh, it was. The water was comfortable.
It was just cool enough to be refreshing, and it was lovely. After we did our swimming, then he took us ashore, and he took us up a freshwater river, and we jumped off the boat, and he took us into the jungle, which was a little scary. It was really hard to walk because the tree roots were right on the surface, and there was hardly any room to stick your feet in between them. I saw one square that was probably 2 feet by 2 feet that there was nothing growing. I'm like, look, flat ground. But he took us to a little watering hole that was completely covered by trees, and it had a rope swing.
Like Tarzan.
And he demonstrated how to climb up the tree in this rope swing and swing across, and he grabbed another tree and then swung up there. He really was like Tarzan.
Yeah.
And then he jumped into the water, and it must have been pretty deep because he was jumping from a good 15 feet up in the
Maybe
air.
so.
So he talked a couple of the little guys into trying it as well. They kind of had a lower place that they could go
Yes.
from and a higher place. How about the little guy? Huh?
Boy, you could tell you're not in America. Otherwise, this would have probably required a call to Child Protective Services. So we're standing in the middle of the jungle, right beside this watering hole, and our guide goes back up the tree to grab the swing to do something else. Then this young mother comes over with the little baby kid and hands the kid up to this guy. This guy's holding on to one limb with one arm, goes down, grabs the baby, pulls the kid up. Now, he was wearing a flotation device.
Yes, he was.
We'll give him that. Throws the kid over his shoulder, grabs the rope, and swings out to the middle of this little watering hole, lets loose, and they go
Kerplunk.
kerplunk. And the next thing you know, here comes a little kid bobbing up, just giggling like crazy.
He had the biggest smile on his face. Well, then there were some other kids that they had to try it too.
Yes.
And then some of the men started trying it, so they were
The younger men.
the younger men. That's true. Jeff was just about ready to get his gumption up, but our guide said, "Nope, no, now we have to go to the cave."
He was really worried about me, I think.
Oh, that's what
He
it
wanted to
was.
make sure I could hike.
He did, yeah. They had enough energy left to hike.
Yeah, exactly. So after the stop at the swimming hole, we had to hike another 10 minutes or 15.
I'd say, yeah,
10,
yeah.
15
It was
minutes.
very arduous hike though.
It was a uphill.
Yes, very steep.
Very steep.
Lots of-
Complicated with a lot of round rocks that had fallen between the roots. Sometimes they were embedded and stable. Another time you'd start going up on a big step and that stone would start rolling and just
Or it would poke you in the middle of your foot.
Oh.
Yeah, that hurt. We had to climb over some big trees. We had to climb under some other trees.
And we had to dodge a barbed wire fence
Barbed wire. I mean,
in the middle of nowhere.
it was something.
Yes.
And then we finally, I mean, by this time we're covered in mud and, we're scratched up a little bit and getting a little bruised. We get to the top of this hill and I look down and it's pretty much straight down into this cave. And I just said, not happening. Save yourselves. I'm going to wait right here. Y'all got to come back this way anyway. So I stayed up there and watched them climb down. You'll see a picture of it. It was crazy steep. There was no way I was doing it.
Plus there was runoff from the stone face above.
It was kind of a very light waterfall.
A misty fall.
Yeah, that was coming down that I was standing in thinking.
Which made all the rocks super slick going down that hill.
And mossy.
Yes.
And of course I have my phone in my in my crossbody, and I'm like, is my phone staying dry enough? I don't want my phone to go crazy. Probably should have put it in a water bag, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. But so Jeff went down
Yes.
and into the cave. Tell us about the cave.
It was the grotto of
Darkness.
Noir,
Yeah.
O, or something about dark water, black water. And there was no light in the cave, really, to speak of. So the water was very cold.
Oh, well, that must have felt good.
It did. But getting into this thing, you couldn't even see your feet in the water, even if it was 5 inches deep. It was so black. And there was a tricky little rock to get past. But once you did that, you were down, and I got up, it was about chest deep where I went. I didn't go way back because I still had my glasses and everything. And
Did other people do that?
Oh, yeah. They were out there swimming and floating around.
Were you not worried about what was in the water?
If we thought of that, we would never do anything.
Now, see, I'm always thinking about what's in the water. So, okay.
There weren't any crocodiles or alligators.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that.
I didn't see any snakes on the hike.
What about leeches?
Well, I think we were okay.
All right. So we made our way back on the hike. I was the first one in the lead, so I was trying to go as fast as I could, but was a little bit of a pileup behind me. But we made it back, and we got on the boat and rowed back to where our car was, and we decided just to pile in the car and
Get home.
get home
clean.
as fast as we could. So yes, we took showers and we got clean, and then we went to dinner at our favorite tiki hut. So many restaurants in Papeete, but we like our Casa Bianca. So,
Exactly.
as I recall, I
So
had a
you
beautiful dinner.
You had some pasta. So it's an Italian style
Yes.
with
Yes.
French Polynesia overtones, particularly in the fish.
And I felt like I had earned the pasta for my grand
For your
hiking workout.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we had a pleasant dinner, and then we went back and pretty much crashed right away because we were exhausted from our big expedition.
Amy was asleep by 9. I said, I can't go to sleep again this early. So I stayed up, I don't know, till about 10:15 watching some TV, and jumped in bed, and that was it till morning. So
The next morning.
Well, yes. The next morning was a bit of logistics.
Yes. It was moving day.
It was moving day. Our last day, heading to the ship, getting our luggage.
The ship? What ship?
The Nautica.
The Nautica, the
Oceana.
Nautica. We are now on the Nautica. We're going to be here for 79 days.
In our lovely penthouse suite.
Yes, and we're floating around in the South Pacific right now. But so we got on board, and we got all our stuff delivered, and we unpacked. Our room is quite spacious. It's lovely. I'm very happy with it.
Me too.
I think we're organized.
Yes.
We've
Everything's
got
put away.
Yes. We've got some stuff under the bed, like the winter clothes that we had to bring to get here. The extra meds and refill of toothpaste and whatnot are in our little supply chest underneath. And all in all, we look pretty tidy. We're not claustrophobic. I feel good.
Two people can pass each other in the room without bumping.
Yeah, without coordinating the pass. Yeah, absolutely.
Make a hole.
We had a lovely dinner last night at a specialty restaurant, the Toscana, which is the Italian one. So we're heavy on Italian the last week, I guess.
Yeah.
Tonight we'll just do the regular grand dining room, but we really didn't do too much. We went to the library yesterday, picked out some good reading material because we'll have some sea days coming up. And so we're just getting aboard and catching you up. So I guess we have a postcard that we should tell everybody about. Our second postcard is going to Ed and Karen in Maryland. They're our friends there. And thank you so much for requesting a postcard on postcardtoday@gmail.com. You'll get this lovely one. Let us know when you get it. I'd love to know how long it takes for it to get there. And if you want a postcard, please send us an email because I'd love to get them out. We've got probably 10 in the loop right now, but we got 79 days ahead of us, so we're going to need to hear from everybody. Right now, so this last night after we went to bed, again exhausted from having unpacked and in the heat and figuring out the boat, and we repositioned the boat last night. We moved,
we did.
So we're no longer in Papeete or Tahiti. We crossed the big expanse between the two, and now we're in
Moorea,
that island that you saw when we were before that was across the water. That's where we are now. And we're going to get off in a short while and explore the island and mail our postcard and see what we can get into.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So, as they say here in Polynesia, na-na.
Na-na. See you next time.